Sunset Boulevard.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is afternoon because we're back to recording. My sons are going to get together with me tonight, and this is something that we don't usually get to do. So I am recording this on Wednesday afternoon. It is Wednesday, the 10th of August. Already August. So we are heading towards the end of the year already. Can you believe that? I'd also like to make mention that we're exactly 5 days from the anniversary of when I was run off the road. We were going to be doing a roundtable that got together the people that we have talked to about mental issues, but that's not going to happen. This is going to be a little bit of a frustration for me because we just didn't get it done. But you know what? We're still going to keep up. We're still going to do the right things. Monday is a very, very difficult day for me, yet a very reflective day for me as well. So it's kind of one of those days that haven't really decided how I'm going to go about doing it yet. I do go out and I sit in the area that I was run off at the exact time, approximately the same time every year. So this will be 8 years. I consider it my 8th birthday. So I'm turning 8 this year. I can't wait to get my baby teeth in. I'm telling you. So, we're gonna keep going. Today we've got a very different show due to time. Time, and we had a couple things come up, so we have a couple guests that we're missing. We're going to be talking to Mr. Bill Willis, and you guys have seen him in one of our recordings before, where we were talking about the National Telehealth Solutions. So we have talked to him before. We're going to also play that National Telehealth Solutions video as well. So we're going to do this to continue with the mention or the Rediscover the Happy Place theme. So we're going to keep going on this. We're going to continue to do this as long as we can. So we're going to beg you to please bear with us. Things kind of get a little bit shaken up. I had to go get another x-ray on my neck, speaking of 8 years. So we need to find out what's going on with my neck. And so that's one more thing that's going on with me. One of the other things that we're going to do today is we're going to go step by step today on how to use the Community Pay It Forward program. We're going to go from picking a partner all the way to picking your mission to throwing the receipt in there and showing us exactly how it's done. We have a receipt right somewhere here. We have a receipt from one of our partners, Bulldog Pub and Grub, and we are going to be turning in that receipt, and we are going to be giving it to I knew we had it somewhere, so we're right here. We have a receipt from Bulldog Pub and Grub, and so we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn in that receipt, and we're going to show you exactly how it's done. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to play a video that I did with Mr. Willis earlier this morning. Mr. Willis is one of our newest family partners, and he is in the healthcare business. As many of you guys know, healthcare is something that we all need to know stuff about it. Very few of us really do know anything about it because it's so confusing. That's the reason why you need to have somebody who's on your side that does great things. And we truly do have a few people on our side in our program that can help you explain what's going on. Mr. Willis is one of those people, and we're very, very privileged to have him join us. We're very proud to have him on board with us here at Community Pay It Forward, and we're proud to bring him to you. So here we go. This was an interview I did with Mr. Willis this morning. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. When I see them, I will ask Bill, and he will get back to us, and we will be able to get you an answer. We will direct message you the answer, along with share the answer on the screen. So we will answer your question along with answering your question personally. So once again, my name is Zach Clayton. I am the president and founder of Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the pACT channel, which you're watching right now. We welcome you to the pACT channel, and I hope that you enjoyed this. Again, this is Mr. Bill Willis of the Buckeye Health organization, and I'm sorry, I really messed that up, but I didn't mean to. Buckeye Health is Bill's program, and you'll understand why. Anybody who does college sports whatsoever, you can already tell where the Buckeye comes from. So here's Mr. Bill Willis. I did this interview at about 8 o'clock this morning, my time. So again, if you have any questions, please ask them, and we will get the answers, and we'll share those answers with you. So enjoy this video. I know that I enjoyed making it. Coming up this weekend, we are going to be giving away free clothing right in time for the school session. We do have plenty of kids' clothes in there. Mom and Dad, we've also got clothes for you as well. We've got a ton of shoes and other furniture if you're in need. Please do not call us and ask we have a certain size, because we've got a lot, okay? Yeah. Inventory at this time happens to be, we got a bag, we threw it in, we hung it up, and we moved on. So come out and join us if you're in the northern Colorado or even southern Colorado area. It's only a 2-hour drive, so come on up and see us and get some free clothing. Please make sure that you donate if you can, because all of this is going to go towards getting us the stand-up centers built. And if you haven't heard about what the stand-up centers are, it's going to be an area where we give, it's a open door policy to where people can come in and grab clothing. They can come in and grab housewares. They can get counseling if needed. We're going to be working closely with our guest today, Bill Willis, and his telehealth program as well. So it's going to be something exciting, and it's going to be something that we're going to be able to help a lot of people on. So please make sure that if you would like to donate, go to communitypayitforward.us and hit the donate now button, communitypayitforward.us. And one more thing, remember, we are an advocate of Red Fridays. Remember, everyone deployed. And now on communitypayitforward.us, you go to the shop, you'll see some branded clothing, some branded other items. You can get a brand new hoodie. Not like anywhere in the country really needs a hoodie today, but winter is coming up. So unless you're one of these kids today, and Bill, have you ever seen this, that these kids wear the hoodies when it's 105 degrees? They're the same kids that when it's below are out there with no coat. You notice that? It makes no sense to me. But
we actually had a situation at my church a couple weeks ago where somebody came in. It was like 92 degrees here, and somebody came in with a hoodie and a jacket on and looked really suspicious. And people were watching because, you know, why would somebody be wearing it in that weather? But he turned out to be a young gentleman that that's just the style for some people today, and it was completely innocent, but it did raise some eyes to wonder why somebody would be wearing that in this type of weather.
It truly is crazy. It really is. So you know, but styles are styles. I remember you know, when I was a kid, parachute pants. There's
Yeah.
always styles that you wish you could get away from, and that's definitely one of them I wish I could have got away from. But so we are being joined by Mr. Bill Willis. You can check him out on our website. If you go to Buckeye Alliance, Bills and Bill Willis, Bills, no, not Bills, Bill Willis.
Just send me all your paper bills.
Yeah, there you go. So, Bill, why don't you do me a favor? Tell us a little bit about Buckeye and tell us about Sedora.
Well, it's actually Sedera, yes. Sedera is a medical cost sharing program, similar to what many people may have heard on the radio. Some of the Christian ministries advertise quite a bit on the radio. And we were actually modeled after those programs. They've been around for 30 plus years and serve over millions of people and billions in sharing amount for healthcare. And healthcare has become unaffordable, or health insurance has for many small companies, individuals, and even larger companies now, with constant increases going up every year. And some studies have shown that deductibles have raised by over 110% in the last 10 years. Family premiums gone up by more than 60%, while wages have only gone up maybe 20 to 25%. And we used to comment that inflation was up about 19% over that 10-year period, but the last year and a half has completely blown that away. And that's become a huge part of it as well. So my background was originally in employee benefits, but more on the side of retirement plans, 401k plans in particular for companies, anywhere from small groups to large groups. And I did some health insurance for some companies where they were either unhappy with a broker, didn't have a broker, or just wanted to get a second opinion on health insurance costs. And I felt for years like the system was broken, and it just didn't seem to be working for the everyday person. Deductibles were going tremendously. And today, even one of the largest causes of bankruptcy is still health costs and medical bills, and that's from people that have health insurance. And it's a shame. So when I found out about Sedera, it was like an awakening, because it was another type of concept, and it seemed to work so fluently that it was just I just wanted to add it to my offerings that I discussed with my clients and new people. And Buckeye Health came about because Sedera was originally a product for small groups of 5 to 50 employees, and they had kind of unique needs in the health insurance arena, because they're the ones that always got the largest increases. They didn't get guaranteed issue typically, and the employer ended up having to pay generally 50% of the contribution. And many small employers couldn't do that. And one of the things I liked about Sedera was there was no minimum contribution required by the company. And there was no networks that they had to be part of, and there was no participation requirements. So an employer could have 20 employees, and if 10 participated, that was fine. It wasn't, they weren't not written because they have 70% participation. So it just seemed like something that was innovative and creative. And Sedera kind of talks about themselves like they're the new Airbnb or the new Uber, Lyft concept in the healthcare field, and it's been very well received. We're very transparent, and we're not for everybody. There are some companies that just aren't a good fit, and we're very clear to them that they are not a good fit. And in some cases, some of their employees may need to go on the Affordable Care Act exchange plans. and other employees can move over to Sedera, and we offer them the choice of either one. So it's a little bit different. It takes some getting used to because everything that's new causes some anxiety to some employees, but once they learn how it operates and gets used to it, most of them love it.
Let me ask you, and which, the funny thing is that we mentioned that we weren't going to be talking about politics, and what's the first damn question I'm going to ask you? Something political here, but it's kind of something that I wonder if other people question this. Every time that we have a new regime change, do the rules change in the insurance world, in the coverage world?
I wouldn't say every time, but there's normally, unfortunately, in our society, everything seems to eventually get hit by politics. And so there's oftentimes changes. There was legislation change back in 2019 that came into effect in 2020, right as COVID hit, and it's called ICRA, stands for Individual Coverage Health Reimbursement Arrangement. And it allows us to go into bigger plans now because before we weren't able to participate in larger plans over 50, but this has allowed us to get into that market. So not all changes are, but certainly they're always tinkering with things, and usually it's motivated with money. And unfortunately, that's the circumstances we live with now.
What was it about health insurance? What is it about health insurance that and offer to people? What is it about that really speaks to Bill Willis? What is that makes you feel dedicated to the people that you're trying to help?
Well, I think I have a passion for smaller companies, companies that aren't afforded the luxury of having the bargaining power with the insurance companies and other areas. They're the ones that nonprofits and small business employers are the most underserved in that industry. And like I said, they don't get guaranteed issue like the larger companies do. And if they have an individual or a couple individuals within the company, which is pretty typical, many times one or two employees out of a group of 10 or 20 can cause 60, 70, 80% of the medical costs incurred by that company. So they then get penalized usually the next year. And that was another thing that impressed me about Sedera was there on the group plan, you're either under 30 or over 30. So there's only one age break involved there. And if a particular group or individual has a bad experience, and it happens to all of us at different times, but if they have a particular bad experience or that small group has a bad experience, their rates are not going to go up because of that. The only time the rates would be changed, we call it monthly contributions. We don't call it premiums because we're not an insurance company. But the monthly contributions are only going to go up as if the whole community goes up. So everybody that's, for instance, a member only or a member spouse that is under 30 is going to pay the same rate. And everybody over 30 is going to have the same monthly contribution, even if they had bad experience the year before. The other thing, in the last 8 years, Sedera has had 3 price changes. Once it went down and twice it went up minimally. And going down is an unheard word in the healthcare industry, unfortunately. It just doesn't happen. And it won't happen either on an ongoing basis. But the costs were good in a year, so they were reduced. So
as soon as we get done with this interview, Bill, we're going to play. This is all about the Bill Willis Hour today with our podcast. So I'm not sure if I've ever done this with another guest. So you're very special here. But we're going to be playing the recording of you and David Patrick, and we're going to be talking about the telehealth system. We've got a phone number showing up on the screen right now. This is the phone number that they call if they want to. Why don't we first off give them a brief overview of what they're about ready to hear, and then how to contact you if it's something that they're interested in.
Yeah, just as a little background, one of the areas that, if you think about the health industry and healthcare, there's three basic areas. You've got preventive care, which you're preventing mammograms, colonoscopy, baby vaccination, or youth vaccinations up to the age 18, flu shots, and things like that. And then you have the small to mid-sized things like sinus infections and colds and flu and rashes and things like that, pink eye. And those things are now handled mostly by telemedicine. And 2 or 3 years ago, I talked to people because we were offering teledoc back at that time. And people could get 24/7 zero copay help through telemedicine. Well, 3 years ago, a lot of people had never even used it or heard of it. But with the COVID pandemic, most people have at least heard it and know about it because that was the only way they could get in to get medical help during that period. So one of the things that has happened over the period of time is that, and a lot of it, escalated during COVID, was mental health has become a huge issue with suicide increasing, depression, anxiety, fear, anger, addiction. All areas of the mental health spectrum have really increased over the last few years in particular, and it's at all-time highs. And so one of the things that I was looking for, and in most healthcare systems is somewhat weak in that respect, is the mental health capacity. And oftentimes we hear somebody say, well, with my health plan, I get 3 visits. Well, sometimes that's not enough. And we also hear that they call to make an appointment and they'll say, okay, we can see it's August 10th today. We can see you on October 11th at 8:15. Well, that's not a good answer to somebody that's facing a crisis in their life at that time, whether it's youth in school and things happening to them in school systems that may seem like insignificant to an adult, but it can be very trying on a student. And so one of the things I was looking for was something in the mental health arena that we could add as a supplement to what even our plan I felt was a little bit weak in that respect. We do have a mental health benefit, but I felt we could do more. So I was looking for something in that arena. And I actually found another product that was powered the same way by Teladoc, and it had a large mental health component to it, 24/7, zero copay, unlimited visits. You could go on and look at the bios of different doctors and pick and choose, and you could get help that day, the next day, or certainly within a couple of days. And it answered that crisis situation because who knows? I mean, you have a honor roll student, or now when I was in school, it was 4 point was the most you get. Now with honors classes and so forth, you get 4.5, 4.8, and across the board. So to a student that was in that arena and all of a sudden performs poorly on a test, that may be devastating in their mind. And with a lot of mental health, people immediately go to the top end. They, I need to see a psychiatrist. I need to see a psychologist. And there's a stigma involved in that. And a lot of times people won't get the help they need because of that. And one of the things I liked about the Teladoc mental health and national telehealth solutions was that they address that because people can go on through their, in the privacy of their home and get the help they need. They can look at the bios of different doctors, see who may match up best with them. And it's a phase. So I think we talked about a little more detail on the other podcasts. And so I don't want to go into too much detail here, but, sometimes somebody just needs somebody to talk to. So there's digital content that they can look at and view that pertains to the particular issue that they're facing. They may just need a health coach to talk to at the time and kind of walk them through that. Look, this isn't uncommon. You're not in this alone. So those are the passions I had, and one of the reasons that I look for, because I've seen it. Not anybody in my direct family yet, but I've seen it in friends and other families with suicide and addiction and different issues that they're facing, depression, anxiety. So it's a huge issue, I think.
Yeah, and once you slip into those, once you slip into addiction, it's a hard fight getting out. Once you slip into depression, if you can't find, if you can't find something that's comfortable with you to get out of it, you end up fighting yourself and trying to find a way out. So
Absolutely.
the stigma that you were talking about, and I love that you're able to take, you know what, you can be in a dorm room with 500 other kids, find a nice quiet place, go to your car, you can sit there and talk to somebody, and you can be proactive about how you're feeling, get to feeling better just by contacting you. Is this the phone number they call if they want to learn more?
Yes. And if I'm in a meeting, it'll take a message and I can get back to them. It'll leave an email response for me and I can get back to them quickly. Just to touch on something that you mentioned there, one of the issues I think we talked about in the other podcasts is the silent sufferer. And this addresses that in particular. And by silent sufferer, I mean family members of the person going through that particular addiction problem or suicide issues or depression and so forth. The rest of the family has to face those issues with that person. And oftentimes it's devastating for them as well. So this program, in most cases, there's a number of different programs that are offered, from university programs to public school programs, and business them for chambers of commerce. So there's a lot of areas being addressed that can be helped by this. But that's one of the areas in most of the plans that it does cover. It helps that other family member involved. In school systems, it can even help the staff, because the staff may have problems, similar problems.
Well, again, we are going to be watching a pre-recorded video with you and one of the founders of this, Mr. David Patrick, here as soon as we're done. David, what all do you guys cover? I think that we mentioned this a little bit earlier, but let's go ahead and let's summarize what all you guys cover.
Are you referring to
your program, your plans?
Well, Sedera handles, if you think of Sedera, again, in that three-step approach to healthcare, you've got the preventive care, you've got the small to medium-sized situations that can be handled by teledoc. But we also work if they're going through a regular doctor or physician. And Sedera is primarily there to handle the big needs. Somebody needs an MRI, they have a bust a hip, they have heart attack, have cancer. The things that are really devastating that can completely wipe out a family. That's what Sedera is there for, to help handle those situations. And we don't use the word deductible. We call it initial and shareable amount. That's the amount our members pay before submitting this to the community. And then the community there is there to help negotiate the bills down to a reasonable level, which doesn't affect the member, because if the bills cannot be negotiated down, the community pays the bill in the full amount. But it's better for the whole community, as anybody that's dealt with insurance knows. There's constant, if you ever get your EOB or explanation of benefits, you'll see the procedure was $10,000, but the insurance company only allowed $1,000, and your portion is $150 or whatever it would be. Or you have to meet your deductible first. So we do the same thing, or Sedera. I say we, but it's Sedera that does it. And Sedera operates as a two-part system. The for-profit community is the management group and member services and the whole group that handles the running of the plan. And they take roughly 9.9% off the top, and that's all they get. So there's no incentive for them not to pay a need as it comes up, because they're not going to make any more by reducing the cost. Whereas with typical insurance or traditional insurance, any money that's saved from paying claims can go to the bottom line. And then the rest of the money from the contribution to both an excess needs, which would be in common terms is like a reserve account. And then the rest of the money goes into individual accounts for each member that's in a non-profit 501c free FDIC insured account. So they're protected from that standpoint. But Sedera, again, is primarily in it for the larger needs. With the mental health, National Telehealth Solutions is the parent company that oversees that. And you have members there. There's studies out there that shown in this program that teletherapy, 76% of the members with depression reported vast improvement after the third visit. 75% with anxiety reported it after the fourth visit. So it is working, and it can be a tremendous help in that area, all the way from just an initial call and digital content up to psychiatric help and telehealth or teletherapy.
One of the things that you mentioned and this is a huge problem. When you have a group, when you have a nonprofit, like we're just going to use their name, we're just going to float them out there. But when you have somebody like Wounded Warriors, healthcare isn't a huge problem for them when it's to employees. They've got so many employees, they get better rates, they get everything. But then you have somebody like, say, here in Greeley, where you have a group like the Avery Center, where they're still struggling to find their way to make it. You're able to help them to where they have the same coverage as the big guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, they're the ones that sometimes need it. They don't have profits to work with like traditional companies. Not all companies have profits these days, but they have their mission statement that they're passionate about, and they're working towards that. But they have the same needs as traditional employers, in that they want to hire good people, qualified people, and people that they can make an offering to that is similar to what they would get in the for-profit world. So we can come in and step in and help that and offer a plan that generally is 30 to 60% less than traditional insurance. And it can be very beneficial to that, especially with what we talked about before, is that there's no minimum contribution that they're required to make on behalf of the employee. They do have to take care of the list billing, deduct it from their wages and so forth and send it in. But other than that, they don't have a financial commitment that they have to make. With that said, most companies do, whether they're nonprofit or not, try and make some contribution on behalf of the employee and help them out a little bit. But they're not required to, so they could offer the plan, and even their part-time employees can participate in it.
Well, Bill, I want to thank you very much for your time. We know that you've got a very busy day, so we're going to go on ahead and cut you loose, and then we're going to play your video right after this. So do you have anything coming up that you would like for people to know about?
Well, we've got a number of meetings with nonprofits. I'm also part of a nonprofit resource entity based out of Columbus, Ohio. But we are resources for nonprofit groups. So they can contact me on that, and there's other resources available through that. But it's such a need that that sometimes they just don't get the exposure, because a lot of the big brokerage houses and insurance brokers are what I call whale hunting. They're out there looking large client. And sometimes a small to mid-sized client gets overlooked and doesn't get the attention that they deserve because they have the same need.
Yep. Well, we've been showing it all meeting, but why don't you go on ahead and let people know how they can get a hold of you, please?
Yeah, it's Bill at BuckeyeHealthAlliance.com. There it is. And the 330-315-255. If I said 3 5s there, I'm not sure. But anyway, it's 330-315-255 is the easiest way to get a hold of me. But they can go to the website at www.BuckeyeHealthAlliance.com.
And then, of course, you can always join them right here on communitypayitforward.us. US
Good afternoon.
by
My name is Zach Clayton,
communitypayitforward.us
Community Pay It Forward.
slash Buckeye Health Alliance Bill Willis. Not Bills Willis. Not Bills and
Yeah, there's a
Wills.
lot of Bills
None
in
of
there.
that. It's Bill Willis. So, but I want to thank you, my friend, for joining us. I want to thank you for a previous recording that we're now going to bring back to life today. And I want to welcome you to the Community Pay It Forward family. We love having you aboard. You're a gold partner for at least the next year and a half. So we are really looking forward to doing some great things with you. We're going to give you the last word. If you have anything to say, any words of encouragement or any shout outs.
Yeah, I just love what you're doing, and I appreciate being a part of it, and look forward to helping as many people as we can. It again is very needed in both areas, the healthcare and the mental health. So those are two areas that are common concern, and just appreciate what you're doing and on your behalf, and look forward to working with you and any of your members that may need help.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Once
Thank
again, you can get a hold of Bill 330. I almost give him the Colorado area code. Yeah, the Denver area code is 303. So that kind of threw me on a loop there. So 330-315-2555. So 330-315-2555. Or you can shoot him an email at bill@buckeyehealthalliance.com. Bill, once again, I thank you very much, and let's keep in check and come and join us again, will you?
I will. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank
is being recorded.
Good afternoon. My name is Zach Clayton, Community Pay It Forward, and we're back with another PACT short. We're having another segment for our Rebuilding the Happy Place campaign that's been going on for a couple weeks, and we're hot and heavy into it now, trying to find solutions to everyone's problem. Not every mental health issue is the same. Everyone has their own way of dealing with things. Well, this is one way. We've got to find that comfort level dealing with people with their own mental disability, mental illness, and mental hardship. So joining me right now is Bill Willis and David Patrick. Bill, you and I have been talking the last couple of days. You're about ready to be coming on to the Community Pay It Forward program. And you told me about David Patrick and his wonderful program. Why don't you give us a little bit of an idea on what you do first, Bill, and then we'll move on to the introduction of David.
Absolutely. Thanks, Zach. Yeah, my primary business has been in the medical healthcare, especially in the medical cost-sharing healthcare business. I've done traditional insurance over the years, but I'm particularly working in the medical cost sharing. And one of the things that has become abundantly clear is that there's a real issue in our nation for mental health. Suicide rates are up, depression, anxiety, all these factors are entering in, not just into the public schools, but the universities, uh, nonprofit world, as well as the employer world. And it's something that needs to be addressed. We're at the highest levels we've ever had in those arenas. And National Telehealth Solutions and David's group, I've partnered with because I think they've stepped up and provided programs that meet the needs of particular areas.
Yeah, David, you're welcome to the program. Can you please tell us what exactly is the National Telehealth Solutions?
We are obviously a telehealth provider. We provide healthcare virtually through several providers. Specifically, as we're on this cast about, is to provide mental health care to a population. We work with school districts, we work with individuals, we work with employers, universities, to provide a virtual health care for mental care, that provides an access and scalability to folks that a lot of people haven't seen in the marketplace yet. So we're very excited as we continue to roll this out to make this available to a lot of folks.
You guys saw a huge issue with one of the problems, and that's accessibility, and you guys are taking a huge step on in which there's still a challenge there. We understand that, but you guys are taking a huge step forward. Can you explain what that huge step was, what you guys are trying to do?
Sure. I think part of the difficulty we have with mental health care to this point is the accessibility you mentioned. We have a lot of wait times in our part of the world across the country. So what we were able to do is put this program together where we have kind of a 4-stage program, from digital content, which is very active and thousands of applications for different scenarios, general coaching, counseling, and also licensed care as well as full psychiatry. So I think as we've talked before about it, the key is that we have a triage program that's really never been done well in mental health because of the enormous demand that's on our existing counselors and psychiatrists. The accessibility and the scalability is very difficult. So I think our program, because of the virtual nature and we triage better with the challenges someone have, gives us the ability to really cover a lot more people virtually. And then obviously, as we've talked before, if there's needs for referrals outside of a network or two, physical counseling and psychiatry, those things can be done. But a lot of problems we see in mental care don't necessarily revolve around some of the things we kind of been told and stigmatized over the years. A lot of folks just need somebody to talk to and some good general counseling and good general mentoring and advice, and can help with a lot of the stress and problems they have. The other thing I think, Zach's the key to our programs, that we make our services available to the entire household. And that's very critical as well, especially in some of the different populations we work in, because as we've talked, the mental challenges, whether they're severe or just day-to-day stress that we're dealing with, always are going to affect the household, one either back towards or away from. So it's important that I think we provide that access for the household as well.
Yeah, there's never been a case of one person suffering and the rest of the family living happily. That's kind of not the way that it goes. Bill, what led you to wanting to get involved with this program?
Well, in my working with employees of companies and nonprofits, and realizing that this is becoming an issue there and they're looking for answers. And one of the things we provide in our program is telemedicine. And it's worked very successfully. I talked to people 3 or 4 years ago, we were providing it, but half the people I talked to had never heard of it. With COVID and what it's developed over the last couple of years, now probably the majority of the people know what telemedicine is. And as much as we provide for our members, the one thing that I felt has always been lacking, we do have some mental health portions of it, but it's not to the degree of what National Telehealth Solutions provides. And I've worked out a situation where we can even block our own telemedicine and bring theirs on board to supplement ours. But the main issue is that people need to get help. And there is a stigma sometimes about them walking into an office, especially with a younger person, and not wanting to identify with having a problem. But they still need that issue, whatever it is. It may be very important to us, and it may or to them, but it may not seem like that much of a issue. But for them, it could be the one thing that just sets them over the edge. And like David said, if we can save one person, that will be a wonderful thing.
Our mission for the next, for the next while is to save one life a week. And the reason why we say save one life a week is because you cannot save two until you save the first one. So, it's always one, and keep building on that. David, can you say that you guys have a 4-tier program? Can you please explain the 4 tiers?
Yeah, the 4 tiers of our program, we have digital access, which is kind of one of the, it works within the other 3 stages or in the tiers.
Mhm.
The second level up from that would be what we call general counseling, mentoring, and coaching. After that level, we have the licensed care, which includes oncology and that kind of thing, and then the full-blown doctor care with the psychiatry level, which, for the advanced cases that has a capability for prescriptions and ongoing maintenance. Those 2 higher levels are always done on a scheduled basis. Our general coaching and counseling has 24/7 kind of very quick access usually. Sometimes if you have someone in particular you want to deal with, it might take a little time to wait for them. But once we get to that higher level care, it can be several days out to get scheduled. It's not a 2-hour type turnaround situation like sometimes it is in the other care levels. And I think the thing that's important too is that one of the barriers to accessibility is cost. We do a great job of folks become our members regardless of what size group that they come from. And then that program in most cases has has 0 copays, 0 cost, unlimited access, so they can maintain their care at those lower levels. Sometimes some of our programs, you get in higher psychiatric care, there may be a copay involved, but it's a third of what it normally is in the marketplace. So very affordable, whether it's for group paying or whoever. And being able to have that access to those staged cares, again, I talked earlier, that really helps us with a lot of the triage that's needed in the mental health care arena.
What are some of the things, David, that can help you guys continue this mission? Are you guys looking for additional therapists? Are you looking for people to step up and help you out in any way?
I think the main thing is the exposure. Our number, if we go sales 101, our number one objection when we're presenting our program to a potential client is the too good to be true, what am I missing? Um, when you take out the enormous volume of folks that we can have enrolled in our program, it helps us scale as well with the clinicians. And those are obviously we're always looking for and always become part of our network. So we have a lot of folks that want to provide services through our platform. There's obviously we're pretty strict on our qualifications for what's required for some of the higher level care, some of the general coaching, but most of the stuff we do is going to require a certain amount of degrees. So we're very careful about making sure we have clinicians that are qualified to provide whatever level of care they might be in. As far as us as a company, our biggest challenge, and that's why we team up with folks like Bill. It's just leverage the multiple networks of people reaching out to people and getting the word out of what we can do is our number one objective. The owners and partners in the company, that's what we do every day. Is more exposure, and that pays back a lot of dividends because we're getting out to a lot more people, through a lot more people.
How do these schools and these businesses, these organizations, how did they get a hold of you guys? What did they need to do to try to utilize your services?
Obviously, getting a hold of our agents like Bill is one of the primary access points. Usually, in an area, if they reach out to us through one of our sites or one of our connections, we'll refer them back to one of our agents. In this case, with working with you guys, it's going to be reaching out to Bill, and he coordinates those efforts with us. To make sure we get them access to the information they need. All the folks like Bill are, we've got them, they understand our program, they're trained, it's like they're part of us, even though a lot of times we have relationships with independent folks, very much part of our network and get all the updates when they're needed and know what's going on. So with you guys, he would be the lead on this thing. And if something happened with a lot of connections that it was more than he or his group could handle, we always have people. Bill spend some time with some of our other folks that can step in and help out if something's really catching on fire and going like crazy. So we have complete scalability as a company as well to support Bill and his activities if something gets out of control that he's a good way that he's still very much in charge of and oversees.
Yeah, Zach, what you that appealed to me about it is that it is a very affordable program, and it doesn't interfere with any of the other programs that the customer may have, no matter what they are, whether it's a employer group or school or what have you. It's a standalone system that can be in on itself. It doesn't have to be tied into another insurance program or anything else. And some out there in the marketplace to help pay for it through some of the funds that were available through COVID.
Bill, are there incentives for employers too? I mean, and this is crazy for me to say. Okay, having to ask if there's an incentive for an employer, because the truth is, your employees' mental health should be an incentive enough. Are there incentives right now that the government are giving people to enroll in programs like this?
There may be a part of the funding for the new, I think it was a gun control legislation, was for funding for mental health, and I haven't seen all the outcome from it yet. But there's it's an affordable program, and the key to the employers is it will help their health in their existing plan and their existing workforce, because people that will get help will actually, it'll save them work time. And so it can be an asset to that company just by providing it to help with their, their own absenteeism and things like that for sickness and health issues. Dave,
Okay.
you may want to kind of add on to that, but
We talk a lot too, Zach. We're not here to sell on fear or anything like that. But one of the things employers have to look at, and some other groups, is that not having a good comprehensive mental health plan in place, and that's way beyond what's typically available with some EAPs and some other outside services referring out. We have a lot of HR directors get people in their offices, don't know what to do with them. Having a place for people to have access anonymously, so to speak, is very critical. And we tell employers all the time what you have to start looking at is a liability issue here. If you have a complete comprehensive mental health care program like ours that stands alone, a lot of people won't use a health provider, mental health provider, because it ties their insurance, or the employer might find out about it. It's now they're in the records with the insurance company. It's going to be a pre-existing condition. We hear all things all day long. That can be huge liability for employer if something happens. And with our service, it's going to give another layer of protection that a lot of times we're talking to legal departments and bigger companies that they're recognizing the need to have this type of access. And then it's, again, as we market our program as a standalone benefit for multiple groups, including nonprofits and that kind of thing. It's a great way to add on to existing benefits, or if employers don't have any benefits, it's a great benefit to add into the programs. So liability is becoming a huge issue for employers with not having access to a good mental health care program. That I think we really fill that gap very well.
Again, it's a little crazy that we have to go that far, that we have to talk about, that these companies have to be convinced to do something like this. I mean, there are situations out there right now that can be prevented if they just get ahead of things. Tell me, guys, and this is kind of a personal question for both of you guys, but Bill, I'm going to start with you. What is one thing that you would suggest if you see someone? What would be something that you would suggest to somebody to seek help? If you see one action, what would you say? You know what? Maybe you need to go and seek help.
Well, that's a difficult question, but
it truly is. But it's one of those things that we need to be a little more aware.
Yeah, I would tell them to start at the entry level, and I would recommend something like this. From the employer standpoint, the employer does not have to contribute to this either. They can, and many do, but it can be very low cost, as I mentioned. And I think the fact that I would recommend somebody that because of the telehealth side of it, the telemedicine side, where they can go on anonymously and get set up. They don't have to make a phone call to a local doctor's office or what have you to get it, or announce it to their employer, as David said, or to their school system or school counselor or whoever. But it's something that they just to talk to somebody, and it's something that they, sometimes a basic conversation can help head off something, and referring them into one of the videos that can lead them through some questions that will help answer their anxiety or their need. But it's a little hard to say other than that, because you don't know whether it's a suicide issue or an anxiety, or just somebody like David mentioned that flunked a test or something. And, maybe some basic conversations can help walk that person through it and realize that if that's the worst thing that happens to them that day, that'll probably be a good thing.
Well, and David, let me go on ahead and switch this question. What kind of reaction are you guys getting with people in general? Are you seeing a lot of success with this?
We are, as I said in the beginning, one of our big hurdles to overcome is too good to be true. You know, how can you do this and offer this level of service and this stage and comprehensive care and all the things we talked about for some of the membership points, prices that we're doing it at. But as far as once folks are in, I think the biggest surprise we probably have is how comprehensive our digital program is. I think a lot of people have used that over the years with some of the existing programs, and this is a very advanced digital program that we have to help folks get through those dailies as they're maybe looking towards a session with a counselor or a psychiatrist or whatever. That's a huge part of it. And I think you have to be careful about saying this too loud, but it kind of encourages people to face their mental health challenges head on daily. But you know, the real stuff that's starting to really dig in and bother you and face them head on. And then quite frankly, I think our program, as it develops more and more, and we've had it out now for about a year, it's also proving that it's teaching folks how to take care of themselves a little better. And I think that's a big part of it, because a lot of the communities we deal with, the populations we deal with, some of the HR directors are so frustrated, the HR directors, because they just don't, people come in with issues that 25 years ago were not that big a deal, and now they're, you know, somewhat overwhelming to them. And the coping skills, as a basic example, are very lacking in a lot of the generations overall. And those type of things, just teaching those can help a lot with, you know, downfield issues. So I think that's a big part of it. The reception's been great. Once you get over that kind of first hurdle of something, I must be missing something here, and then they experience the program. It's kind of like one of those deals with the puppy dog. Once you play it for a couple of days, you know, you've got them as a customer, and that's what we're seeing pretty consistently.
I think that frustration with HR departments, it's, you know, there's got to be a different level of tolerance, because there's so many different, you know, and you know, this is part of the movements that are nowadays. You know, everything is being retaught in different ways, and you got to take everybody, you know, everybody's thoughts into consideration, which is something we should have always been doing. You know, always been doing, but now it's become so very important because, you know, look, differences are here, and we need to respect people. So, gentlemen, I greatly appreciate this. David, one more time, how do people get a hold of you guys?
I'll give you my information, and then I can get a hold of David. There'll be a connection on my website. I'm just developing it now for a specific area. So when we get set up, there will be a connection there to link to for more information. But that would be the main. I would be the main touch point, and then I'll bring whoever I need to into it. And again, back to your question before, I think one of the things that it seems like most people need is to know that they're not alone and facing things alone, and that there is help there, and they can get it privately, and they're you know, it gets rid of that stigma that they sometimes feel like they're facing.
Bill, I would like to thank you very much for introducing us to David and introducing us to this wonderful program. David, I would like to thank you very much for your time on joining us.
Thank you.
We hope to see you guys again on August 15th. Hey, everybody, this is just one more of the groups that are out there. This is just one more program that's out here. If you know of a program who's out here trying to help us navigate this difficulty of mental health, we encourage you to please give us a call, 970-909-0751, 970-909-0751. We want to hear about it. We want to let people know about it, because you know what? What they don't know is hurting them. So let's make sure that we get everything out and very clear to people. We're here. We want to help. All right. Again, David, Bill, thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it. And you guys keep up the great work. Okay.
Zach, thank you for what you're doing as well. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Zach.
now it's time for our learning segment of the day. So, hey, everybody, it's Zach Clayton, Community Pay It Forward. Watch out, you're going to go on a skating expedition here. Whoa. Okay, do you feel like you were moving? I did. I felt like I was moving. Oh, now you can see my front room. I don't want that to happen. It's kind of a mess out there. So anyway, what we're going to do right now is we've got about half an hour left on this show. And what we're going to do is we're going to explain a little bit on how does Community Pay It Forward work. The way it works is very, very simple. Okay. We got a couple very easy ways to for this to work. Excuse me. We have partners who work with us, business partners, small, medium business partners, large business partners, whoever it may be. Then we have people who have asked us for help, families with emergency needs. We've got nonprofits. We raise money for kids who are trying to go through church or school activities or even club activities. Then we've got our heroes, both country and community. You know, our teachers, our firefighters, our first responders, our law enforcement officers, doctors, so forth. And of course, our veterans. Then we also like to help our startup friends and startup organizations, startup businesses. We also help our animal friends. Where's she at? She's not here. We just got us a new animal. So we are proud to announce that we have Zephyr. She's a mutt. You know, she's definitely got a lot of greyhound in her. We were told she was a full-blooded collie. Not even a little bit. But she is gorgeous. She's cute. She's funny, skittish, but funny. She looks a lot like, and many of you guys will remember him, she looks a lot like Brody did. So, you know, it's kind of like bringing a skinny, young Brody back home. So yeah, we help raise money for people or for animals. And a couple more things, history, community improvement programs, stuff like that. If you're doing good in the community, you would like a little bit of help, would like to get the word out about what you're doing, give us a call. 970-909-0751. 970-909-0751. If you give us a call, or if you take and you schedule a meeting with us, we can set up a time to talk about what you're doing. We can set up a time to try to talk about how we can help you. Our goal is to help people who are trying to do really good things. How do you get a hold of us? Well, you go to our Calendly link. Here is our, and I will put it in, it's right there for you, but you can also find that right here on our link tree. Okay, just go to our link tree and everything that you need is right there. So, but we have all of our partners who give us a referral award. Okay, you shop with them, they're going to give Community Pay It Forward a couple bucks for saying thank you for shopping with us. Here's $5, $10. Once they give us that $10, we're going to come back and ask you as the customer, who do you support? And you go and you find one of the programs that has asked us for help. Once again, anything from your neighbor who got hurt at work, broke her leg at work, she can't go to work for 6 to 8 weeks. The bills don't stop, but the paychecks do. Let's make sure that they can relax a little bit. I know a lot about not being able to heal properly because you're stressed out about work. So let's try to take and help them out. And let's make sure that we get them a little bit of help. So choose, if you know somebody who needs help, have them get a hold of us right here at the link tree. Just have them get a hold of us. Linktree /Zach Clayton. Once again, that's link, whatever that is, tr.ee/Zach Clayton. Just go to our link tree and you can find our schedule. You can get on there and you can go. But let's talk about what you do. One of the greatest things about what we do is at Community Pay It Forward, 80% of our profits that we get from businesses are allocated to communities in need. With a few clicks, you can make a difference in your community just by shopping. We're not going to ask you to round up. We're not going to ask you to donate an extra dollar. We're not going to ask you to join a club. We're not going to ask you to do any of that stuff. We're just going to ask you to, instead of going to one of the big monster stores, we're just going to ask you to visit www.communitypayitforward.us. And when you visit communitypayitforward.us, it looks a little something like this. This is thanks to Z World Webs. Beautiful, beautiful website he's done. For all of you who who are ability challenged, who have a little bit of issue, you come right down here to our little friend, and it can help you with many different things. It can stop the movement, make the fonts larger, whatever you need to do. It's a very, very well put together, thoughtful website, and I want to thank Z World Webs for everything that they've done. I also want to thank our good friends at TotalSpeed.co. TotalSpeedCo is all you need to know. They are hosting our website, so we appreciate everything that they do as well. You go up here to our verified partners, okay? You click on the verified partners, and eventually, here we go, our verified partners pop up. You can see all of everybody who is involved in what we do, everything from, once again, as we just mentioned, ADA compliance. We've got a couple of our really good friends that that's what they do. They try to make sure that all of these websites that you see are ADA compliant, because there are lawyers out there who are doing some, in the name of people with disabilities, they're out there to try to hurt you. Small business, they're out there because we should include everybody with any disability in our business. That, as business owners, that's something that's important to us. But these guys are feeding off of your negligence, and they are taking up to $75,000 away from your company. So it's well worth getting a hold of anybody in the ADA website compliance. You've got a couple of really good friends of mine in there. You've got, once again, Mr. Z. You've also got Trevor Gibbs from let me just click it and show you. It's from Selected Services. Once again, I'm sorry about the internet. We're supposed to be getting our booster today. Hopefully it'll come real soon. You also have Autumn Dahlia, who can help you out. So you come here, and what you do is you take and you click on one of the partners. I've chosen Sarah here, Sarah Goodall, one of our great partners. And you come down here and you can learn a little bit about what Sarah does, what her passions are, what she loves to do, some of her experience, and more about it. Everything is set to where you can get a hold of her immediately. As you can see, you can send her an email simply by clicking here. You can go to her website by clicking here. You can also go to any of her social media pages simply by hovering and clicking here, okay? So all you have to do is take and find out a little bit more about her. So what you do is you contact Sarah and you do business with Sarah. Say you need a new website built. You decide you wanted to go with Sarah. Sarah builds your website. You love your website. You've done a great job on it. You needed some creative services done. You hire Sarah to do it. Um, One of the great things is Sarah has decided that she's going to give us a referral award. That referral award we take and we turn 80% of it around to who you tell us is important. We're not going to tell you who's important because everyone's important in our eyes. Where do we find the people where do you find these people? You go right up here to the mission partners and you click on that. And eventually, when your internet catches up, you have them pop up. Once again, 501c3 nonprofits and charity work, animal missions, Community Cares Cub Club. This is where you get all of our kids that are asking, needing help. And anything to do with kids goes in the Community Cares Cub Club. Community Dare to Cares outreach and entertainment, or outreach and events. This is what we're doing this weekend at the donation dens. This is what we're going to do this weekend with giving away free clothes. Here's a little spot about what is Community Dare to Care outreach and events. Oh, sorry. Song was, I love that song. It was pretty cool. We also like to help our families and our neighbors who need our help. Again, the example of your neighbor who slips, falls, breaks her leg. The paychecks stop, the bills do not. Healthy mind, body, and soul. This is where we try to help people who need mental, physical help. We try to help them through participation of some of the non-narcotic healing groups that we work with. We try to take and build grants to help people in that area. Honoring our heroes, both country and community. I've already said quite a bit about that. Inclusion is for everyone. This is groups that want to include everyone regardless of anything. So we ask you to participate in that. Supporting startup businesses and organizations. And one that's not on here yet, but it needs to get on here, and it'll be on here by tomorrow, is our history. Save our history. If these walls could talk, what would they say? We'll never know if the businesses get torn down. So this is what we do. Again, we go here to our verified partners. These are our great partners who have agreed to give us a portion of sales when people come to them. We are lucky enough to have gone to one of our dear friends, Bulldog Pub and Grub, right here in Greeley, Colorado. You click on Bulldog Pub and Grub and you can get all the information you need about Bulldog Pub and Grub. They're open for carryout, but still needing some support. They also ran into a pretty big problem, a pretty big family tragedy when they lost their son a year ago on the 4th of July. They lost their oldest boy after a party. And so the family's been trying to put the pieces back together. So you go to Bulldog Pub and Grub. they're going to give you one of these. If you request one, they're going to give it to you. They can either send it to your email or they're going to give you a paper copy. We chose the paper copy because this is going to be the easiest way for us to show this demonstration. So we've got our paper copy. We've done our shopping. We have our receipt. Now we go over here to the mission partners. We're going to go to our animal missions today in light of our new friend Zephyr, who's still running around somewhere else. You can't see her right now. She's out playing somewhere else. So what we're going to do is we're going to give and we're going to throw our receipt to the Humane Society of Weld, Colorado. Now, there are two things you can do. Right now, if you look in the corner, way in the corner over there, you'll see a QR code. You scan that QR code, right in this area here, right up there is the QR code. If you scan that, the same thing is going to come up that comes up right here. This is what our mission partners look like. This is what that QR code right here, that's what this looks like. And all you do is you come down here, you can see the same things: 501c3s, animal missions, Community Cares Cub Club, Community Dare to Care, community improvement missions, families and neighbor in need, honoring our heroes, inclusion for everyone, keeping small business alive. And here you go, right here. These walls can talk, save our history. We've chosen that we're going to do animal missions today, and we're going to give it to the Humane Society of Weld County. So we're going to click on the Humane Society of Weld County and put it right here, okay? You need to do this for every receipt unless you want all the receipts to go to this. You come down here, and it's not required, but we prefer it if you do this. Fill out your name, Zach Clayton. Give us your email. Give us your phone number. Again, not necessary, but we would love to add you to our mailing list. If you put this on here, we're going to try to start sending out Christmas cards this year. Hint, hint. So, then you're going to come to this part here. Can we add you to our email, our text list, or our mailing list? Well, how about, and yes, I see the problem. It needs to be all of them. So all three, not both, please. So we're going to click on both, please, which means all, please, because I will change that. Now we come down here to I wish to honor. What this means is say you choose something like Martyred Angels. You know somebody who's lost a child. You know a child who's passed away. This is going to work perfect here because Bulldog Pub and Grub and the loss of their son. You can put, I wish to honor the Bird family in honor of their son right here. Or you can leave it blank if you just want to say, hey, this is from us. Now, we're going to come up here to take a photo. Yes, I can't do that. I guess I should have checked that earlier. So we cannot do that. But I think what we're going to do right here is I'm going to find one of the receipts that I have already used. Let's see if I can find something in here. And of course, I can't find anything there. I know I've got receipts in here. I actually saw them yesterday, so. Here we go. Here's a receipt that was previously turned into us. We found it in our database or in our memory. So what we did is we clicked it onto here. Okay. And now it's added. Now you just go through, you make sure that the Humane Society of Weld County is still on here. You make sure that you've got your name and everything attached to it, and that you've got all the information set up. Then you simply click submit. And apparently it takes a couple of minutes. Once again, that's what slow internet will do. You'll get a note that says thank you. And when that is done, we get an email that states, hey, this person has turned in a receipt from Bulldog Pub and Grill. This person, you, has chosen to donate to this cause, and in this case, it is the Humane Society of Weld County. So what we do from this point on is very simple. What we do from that point on is we take and we upload a picture of that receipt. And then we send that picture to Bulldog Pub and Grub. And we say, this receipt was purchased at your restaurant, or this food was purchased at your restaurant. You, Bulldog Pub and Grub, have agreed to give us 10% of what's on this receipt. That percent is $26.27 is the total ticket. So they're going to give us $2.60. We turn around and we give 80% of that $2.60 to the Humane Society of Weld County. We then give you a copy of the receipt, giving it back to Humane Society of Weld County. You'll get the confirmation that that money is sent, so you can see that we have made that payment. You'll also be receiving, at that point in time, you will receive all of the newsletters and everything else that we put out. We're really not asking anything extra from you. Okay, we're really not wanting any, we want to make this as painful as we let's try painless as possible. I guess you wouldn't want us to make it more painful, would you? We're really trying to make this as painless as possible. We've come up with a way to try to help everybody by doing what we do every day. We have to shop to live. It's part of what we do. Community Pay It Forward has created this program. We're asking you to utilize this program. Do you have any questions? Please get a hold of me from my link tree right here, linktree/Zach Clayton. You can also give us a call, which is in our link tree, 970-909-0751. One more time, that's 970-909-0751. This program can work And it can work in an amazing way if we all work together. But in order for this to work, we need a couple things. We need more of these businesses. We need more of these businesses who do everything under the moon. So if you work in a place that can easily give us a referral award, maybe Community Pay It Forward's a perfect place for you to go from some very inexpensive promotion. All we want to do is we want to tell your story. We want to tell people what you do, who you are, why you do it, what you love, what you don't particularly love, what you wish you could change, and why you're doing what you're doing. Tell people about some funny stories. Tell them some great stories. Tell them whatever you want to tell them. When they get to you, what they're going to do, they're going to have a conversation with you. They're going to build a bond with you. They're going to build a little bit of a kinship. And then that way they feel like they're talking to a friend already. They take and they do business. They turn in a receipt from you. And that receipt goes to helping who they want to help. We don't suggest. We just simply ask them to shop with you as business owners. We're asking you, John, Jane, Q public, to shop with these great people, because these great people are donating to causes that you love. Do you know somebody out there who would like a chance to raise a little bit of money for what they do? Give us a call. Once again, simply go to our Linktree /Zach Clayton, or call us at 970-909-0751, 970-909-0751, or you can always go to the website, communitypayitforward.us, communitypayitforward.us. We've created the easiest way to fundraise ever. You can make tons of difference by simply shopping every day. You need things. Let's make sure that these things have a purpose. This is built to help everyone. We are not a nonprofit. We are a for-profit company with the heart of a nonprofit. Why are we not a nonprofit? We are not a nonprofit for one reason and one reason only. Government stipulates that nonprofits, you have to be very specific on who you help. It is my goal to help people who need help, regardless of what their situation is. So, we've come up with this formula that we can help anybody out there. Thank you, everybody. My name is Zach Clayton of Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the pACT channel. Please remember to love somebody out there, because somebody out here loves you. Hey, this is very simple. Nobody has to go it alone. When we all come together, remember, if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. Please join us next week when we give you the halfway update on the wine event for the month of August. We're going to be joined by the goddess of the grapes, Stephanie Samos, and our wonderful, wonderful partners of the month that are having a blast with us right now. So let Nancy's House and Reboot VA. So we'll see you next week right here on pACT.
Stepping out of her fear, bring me home. Out alone, show me the way. You wanna be a part of Sunset Boulevard.